Everyone, welcome to the syllabus walkthrough for POL 49 MUA, which is the Political Science Capstone Seminar on Science, Technology, and the State. It's the section that meets on weekends on Zoom. So you'll see all that information at the top of the syllabus here. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to just briefly look over the whole syllabus, learn what's where on the syllabus, and then I'll make some videos about different components of the syllabus. So if you have questions about specific sections, you can find answers on those videos. So as I've already mentioned, this top bit tells information about the class and some vital information like my contact. You'll be able to see that on Brightspace. Now, we have our course description, which importantly contains our information from CUNY first. So this is what you saw when you registered for the course, as well as specifics to this section of the capstone. You'll also see learning objectives, things that you should be able to do by the end of the semester. And then we've got course structure, requirements, and grading. This is probably the most important part of the syllabus because it's the part that answers a lot of questions that you probably have, like when and where do we meet? How am I graded? What different things go into my grade? All of that is going to be on this section. And you'll notice as you scroll down that each of these parts of your grade is explained in some detail here. So you'll have a pretty good idea of my expectations of you and what to expect out of this class. Once you get past that, you'll see our class resources. So this is just basically where to go to get things you need for the class. You'll notice, by the way, that for the class readings, there is no textbook. Everything will be posted on Brightspace or accessible on the web. Now, here are other expectations and information. When I said that the course structure bit was really important, that isn't to say this isn't important. This does tell you a lot more about my expectations of you in the class and what you should expect of me. But this doesn't usually have quite as many burning questions. Still, as you can see, it's got a lot of helpful information in there. It is in alphabetical order, and that's just because I didn't want to make it have to preference one thing over another. So we're just addressing this in alphabetical order. And you'll see that there's all sorts of information about accommodations, about using AI in this class, about attendance. I already addressed that a bit in the grading section, where we talk about my expectations for participation. This elaborates on that with specifics about attendance. You have information about our Brightspace course, a Brightspace class page, information about how to behave yourself in the class. It's all pretty self-explanatory, but take a minute and check out either the little video on this or the section of the syllabus just to make sure you understand the expectations. How to get in touch with me by email and in office hours, and of course, great resource at Baruch, the Writing Center. Here's again, an important section. I know I keep saying things are important. I'm sorry. That's why they're on the syllabus, though, about academic honesty. By the time you're in a capstone, you probably know a lot about academic honesty, but it's all here in case you need a refresher. This will also address AI. I know I had a separate section about AI above, but we talk about it here as well. Now, after all that, we have the class overview. And this is a really helpful part for you to understand what you're going to have to do each week in the class. And you'll see each week is outlined on this class overview with the topic and sort of key political science stuff we're going to be covering, and then your assignments. Some weeks you'll just have your readings and your quiz. Some weeks you will also have a piece of the research project due. You'll notice that homework is typically due Saturdays. That is for class. And your research project will typically be due Sundays at night, so after class. Just while I am scrolling down, I should point out that when I say something is due on Saturday, it doesn't mean you have to do it on Saturday, right? You can do it in advance anytime throughout the week, but no later than Saturday or Sunday for the things due on Sunday. Now, below that grid is this detailed schedule and reading list. Basically, all this is an elaboration of that grid with the specific readings for each week. So for week 1, you will read nothing because there's no required readings, but you'll read the optional readings if you wish to. For week 2, so before class on week 2, you'll be expected to do these required readings. And all the readings are listed on here. They're also going to be on Brightspace, on the week 2 page on Brightspace, where you're going to have either the PDFs or the links for each reading. So while I do encourage you to keep a copy of the syllabus and keep referring to it, you can get all the readings directly on Brightspace without having to look at the syllabus for each week. You will also see a little checklist on Brightspace that helps sort of reiterate what's on that syllabus overview page, or I should say schedule overview. So all of this is also on Brightspace, but it can sometimes be helpful. I've had students say that what they do is they print out the syllabus and use it sort of as a checklist to just tick off the readings, because there are a lot, many of these are very short. So it looks like a lot, but it isn't actually as much reading as it appears. But it can be sort of confusing because there are a lot of short readings to keep track. And the reason I'm scrolling all the way down is at the very end of the syllabus, there's another section with some suggested resources, some periodicals that usually have good science and technology articles in them, and information on how to access some of them for free through CUNY. And then some books that can be helpful for you as you're working on your research papers on science and technology policy. You'll notice several of these are available through the I apologize, Baruch Library, as well as political science texts. Many of these are available hard copy only. So if you need specific pages from it, and you can't get a hard copy, let me know. I often can get them and scan them for you if that's necessary. So you'll see all this on here. You'll also see at the very end, some topics in academic writing. We address these in class. So if there are topics on this list that you're like, oh my gosh, I have to have, or yeah, I don't really want that, or something I've missed out, let me know so I can tailor the courses, the sort of class lessons on these appropriately. So this is our syllabus. And again, if you have questions on specifics, check out the detailed videos. And of course, feel free to email me or ask in class.